My goodness. Keyshawn Davis told us it was a fighter that he used to have beef with. And we gave our predictions saying Nahir Albright was a possibility. But I did not expect it to come. I didn't expect that fight to be announced. May 16th, popping off, Top Ranks deal, throwing on their first card that will take place on The Zone. Keyshawn Davis versus Nahir Albright at 140 pounds, different from their last fight. It's a rematch that took place when? October 14th of 2023. 2023. Both of these men competed against each other at 135 pounds. At the time, Keyshawn Davis was barely on his 10th fight of his career. Only had 9 professional fights, started his professional career at 2021. Remember, he had about 3 professional fights, then went to go compete against Andy Cruz at the Olympics, took the silver medal, then continued on with his professional career. Got up to 9 wins before he fought against Nahir Albright. Only had a professional career for about 2 years, from 2021 to 2023. Now, Nahir Albright definitely landed some clean shots on Keyshawn Davis, but at the end of the day, Keyshawn Davis was the better fighter, more slicker, more smoother. Went in there and outworked Nahir Albright. Since that fight, Nahir Albright has only had 2 fights. 2 fights. He fought Keyshawn Davis, loses that fight, but don't forget, it gets overturned to a no contest because Keyshawn Davis fails the drug test for marijuana. Okay. Nahir Albright, after that fight, takes about 1 year and 8 months off. Say he was trying to have scheduled fights, but there was a problem because his performance that he displayed against Keyshawn Davis, there was a problem getting opponents to want to fight him. Nobody wanted to do business with him. Says he had a couple fights set and dudes pulled out in the last minute. So he ends up stepping in there against Calvin Davis, the older brother of Keyshawn Davis. Older, but not as skilled, not as talented. Calvin Davis. And beats the hell out of Calvin Davis. He beats him up. The dude goes in there and absolutely embarrasses Calvin Davis, who was talking all that smack. They thought because Nahir Albright had about 1 year and 8 months off that they were going to have an opportunity, you know, to go in there and beat Nahir. But Nahir's, he's actually a very skilled fighter, okay? He beats Calvin Davis. Then we heard about all that stuff that went down in the locker rooms after the fight. Keyshawn Davis, who was angry and was supposed to be the headliner of that card. By the way, Keyshawn Davis, don't forget, was supposed to be fighting against Edwin De Los Santos. Calvin Davis versus Nahir Albright was the 3rd fight leading up to the main event. Then they end up moving on up to the co-main event, and Abdullah Mason ends up taking on Jeremiah Nakathila in Norfolk, Virginia, and takes Keyshawn Davis' spot because he missed weight. By what? 4.3 pounds against Edwin De Los Santos. Edwin De Los Santos' manager at the time, Samson, the same manager as Sebastian Fundora, decided we're not carrying on with this fight. Edwin De Los Santos pulls out. Keyshawn Davis and his brothers go to the locker room of Nahir Albright. Now, I know everybody reported out there, all the boxing outlets reported that they got jumped. They jumped Nahir Albright. But that's not true at all, okay? They almost jumped him. They attempted to jump him. But it wasn't like 3 dudes at one time were bombing on Nahir Albright while he was in the corner. They tried to jump him, but they couldn't. Now, I know Nahir Albright, you know, suffered, you know, a couple little injuries and stuff, but none of that was coming from 3 different dudes bombing on him at one time. Everybody spin the narrative and just absolutely ridiculed Keyshawn Davis. And in my opinion, I understand Keyshawn Davis missing weight by 4.3 pounds is highly unacceptable, especially the way he was acting, you know, the last year when it comes to that situation. And everybody coming out saying that he didn't want to make the weight on purpose. Keyshawn Davis came out and said the reason why he missed those 4.3 pounds against Edwin De Los Santos was because he was drinking. He says he was drinking every day. Mentally wasn't right. Depression, anger, everything. Keyshawn Davis claims. Now, I know there's a lot of conspiracy theories around that because you had Bomac and Bernie the Boxer come out and make different claims. But it is what it is. Now, Nahir Albright, after he beats Keyshawn Davis's older brother and everything that goes down in the locker room, comes back and fights against Frank Martin in his most recent fight, February 21st, on the undercard of Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios. In a fight where Frank Martin was supposed to win, actually ended up turning out to be a way tougher fight for him than I bet you he expected. A lot of us knew Nahir Albright had the skills, had the length, didn't beat Keyshawn Davis, but we seen enough from that fight to be able to say that Frank Martin better not be overconfident going into that fight against Nahir. Looked good. I honestly thought he should have won the fight. But at the end of the day, Nahir Albright was banging on him. Was bombing on him. Round 7, round 8. It was a close fight that was scored a draw. And it was completely understandable. But I thought Frank Martin was supposed to win that fight. Was coming off, you know, beating Ratsis Barthelemy. What was it, a 4th round knockout? Crazy status. Did it faster than Gary Antoine Russell. Did it faster than Jose Ramirez, right? So, Nahir Albright, in my opinion, his stock rose again after the Frank Martin fight. Now, keep in mind, during all these fights, Nahir Albright has also been a certified nurse assistant. Yes, he isn't a full-time boxer while giving all these fighters the toughest fights. This dude's been a part-time, a certified nursing assistant, and also can sing a goddamn song. After the draw with Frank Martin, gets on the mic, starts singing his R&B, actually announced on his social media that he's gonna be going onto America's Got Talent. Yes, Nahir Albright on America's Got Talent. He announced himself, and that's going to be absolutely exciting. I can't wait to watch that. But Nahir Albright is going to be taking on Keyshawn Davis. Yes, since Keyshawn Davis's fight against Nahir Albright in 2023 of October, the dude has fought 5 times compared to Nahir Albright's 3 times. Has been active. Has actually became the WBO lightweight champion. Right after he fights against Nahir Albright, he beats Jose Pedraza, gets a couple more wins under his belt, and goes up to compete for the first world championship of his career against Denis Berincic. Beats him, what was leading up to that fight, very controversial with the bananas, watermelon, Teofimo Lopez, everything that had to do with that. But Keyshawn Davis looked spectacular, the businessman. That was in February of 2025. Was supposed to come back against your boy, Edwin de los Santos, in June, just 4 months after, to defend his strap. And then we see how everything ends up playing out with that, right? He misses weight by 4.3 pounds. The fight doesn't end up going through. He blames it on the beer, controversy in the corner, and comes back in his most recent fight and beats Jermaine Ortiz on the undercard of Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez, January 31st. Keyshawn Davis actually becomes the first guy to stop Jermaine Ortiz. Jermaine Ortiz having fought guys like Lemachenko, guys like Teofimo Lopez. None of these dudes were able to stop him. Keyshawn Davis did it in his 140-pound debut. I'm going to tell you guys like this, man. This fight is going to be exciting, but I honestly believe we're going to see the same exact thing that we saw in the first fight. Keyshawn Davis was only 2 years in his professional career. The dude is, what, 5 years in his professional career now, and has got a lot more experience, has been more active. The only thing that makes this a little bit more interesting for me is that it's at 140 pounds. I feel like Nahir Albright at 135. Now he's in 140. I feel like he's able to be more physical. And we've seen that against Frank Martin. Let's see if he's able to be physical against Keyshawn Davis. I'll be honest with you, I don't think that's going to happen. I think he was able to be physical with Frank Martin and fight like that, have the fight that he did with him, because Frank Martin is just not on the same level as Keyshawn Davis. I think Keyshawn Davis is just a little bit more skillful, right? It's going to be an exciting fight, but it definitely wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting something bigger with Keyshawn Davis calling out everybody in the goddamn sport. And he's having a rematch with Nahir Albright after the Jermaine Ortiz win. In my opinion, this is taking a step back, especially because, you know, arguably Frank Martin beat Nahir Albright, even though it was a draw. I thought Frank Martin versus Keyshawn Davis was a fight to make. But Nahir Albright seems to be the fighter that Keyshawn Davis in Top Rank and these guys decided to go with, man. But it's breaking news, May 16th. Let me know how you guys feel about this matchup. Is this what you guys wanted to see? Did you want to see better from Keyshawn Davis? Is this taking a step back? Let me know in the comments, man. May 16th, Keyshawn Davis makes his return in a rematch against Nahir Albright, no longer at 135 pounds, the both of them. This fight's at 140 pounds. Let me know what you guys think.